Family, this is the Old School Traveler, and I'm back here to tell you right now that I went to Rehoboth, Delaware. Yeah, I was gonna go there and stay a couple nights, but I decided to make it just one night, actually 2 hours, because see, Rehoboth, I went there 30 years ago, and Rehoboth was full of young people, federal workers, gays, and a lot of things that I just didn't want to deal with, because I don't want my young son, at that time he was young, thinking that was normal. It's not to me. I like going to the beach where I can get out and see families, young kids having fun, do a lot of other things, and not some sneaky, creepy old man in the background that you just don't see. Now, Rehoboth, the thing about it is that it has not changed in 25 years, 30 years maybe. 25 years. It's not changed. Rehoboth, the traffic is bad. The traffic is bad. It's not a big city, but the infrastructure is the same as it was 25, 30, 40 years ago when I used to go as a young person. The infrastructure is not changed. The type of people that go there now versus back then, I'm not so sure that's changed. It just wasn't as flamboyant as it was back then. I didn't see men in dresses, and I seen a few foreigners. And the good thing about it is that you got a lot of restaurants, places to eat at. The food is not very good. Now, here's the thing. When I go to a restaurant and I want Chinese food, I don't want to see two black guys cooking sushi. No. Can they? Yes, because I can. But mine is not going to be the same taste as the guy from Beijing. It's not going to be the same taste. I'm not going to fool myself. I know mine's going to be good, but it's not going to be that same exact taste. So my point is, all these restaurants cannot have good or great chefs, because most restaurants don't have chefs. They have cooks, which is a big difference. Anybody can make prepared food. Anybody can. All you got to do to make great prepared food is have a chef cook it for you, season it for you, and then you put it in a device that is not going to burn it. And a sous vide would do that. I think that, in 99% of these restaurants, not chains, because chains have one person and one central point cook all your food for you. But you hire a cook and you say, listen, if you put it at below 212 degrees, it would not burn. Now, it may get black, may get tough, whatever. But I got a buddy of mine, and he just loved going to fish and chip shops. And I told him, I lived in England. The ones in Rehoboth are not that good. But he's basing everything on what he eats at 7-Eleven, because he thinks 7-Eleven food is not bad. And that just told me a whole lot about he is not going to be my friend, because he don't know that some of the basics of life, which is cooking simple foods. Anything you can fry should not ever be bad, because once it's done, it rises to the top. I don't care if it's a biscuit, a beignet, fish, chicken, it don't matter. Once it's done, turkey, it rises to the top. So how you can go wrong, I don't know. But that just told me his food skills were not very, very, very high. So let's talk about Rehoboth. Rehoboth is not bad. It's a crowded beach for a small space. And the entire city is about 4 miles, maybe 3 miles on Delaware 1. If you want to have a good time, go to Bethany Beach. That is by far the place you want to go to. Now, when I talk about these cities, I tell you the truth, whether you can make it or not with nothing. And Rehoboth, if you're not in the food industry, you're going to be working for minimum wage. You're not going to make a lot. You're not, but you only get paid by what your skills are. If you got no skills, you don't get paid. That's just the way it is. Rehoboth, everybody seems like they like they're either a waiter or a server in a restaurant or some shop at the outlet mall. I don't know how you're gonna make it from scratch unless you work in one of those kind of jobs. If you're not in one of those kind of jobs, you just not gonna make it in Rehoboth, because it is a tourist city, and we know in tourist city they hire a lot of foreigners who come and do the menial wage jobs. They're the ones making a couple bucks. They're not gonna go and get somebody who lives there. And in Rehoboth, the hard part is trying to figure out the locals from the tourists, because I'm sure the locals aren't walking around in bikinis and other stuff, and they live on these streets that is just off the main street, Delaware 1. They live in those Airbnbs, hotels, or converted hotels to condos. I'm sure they live in those places, because you can look and say, okay, this place is like a dump. No local is going to live there. But you never know. You never know. So Rehoboth got a little everything for you. You know, whether you're straight, gay, twisted, whatever, pervert, they got something for you. I do like the ice cream shops. I do like the ice cream shops. So I tried a couple of those, and I look back 30 years, some of the pictures I got, it's the exact damn same. It's the exact same. Your fish and chip shop, the fish and chip shop is still the same. Ain't nothing really changed. You know, and the sad part is that the infrastructure is not changed as far as you can't go more than 10 miles an hour, because, you know, it is what it is. The traffic is bad. And traffic doesn't bother me. I just like to move in the traffic. And Rehoboth, there are a lot of times you don't move. But I'm saying all that knowing that I went down there during the summer. I went during the summer. And it was crowded as hell. But now Bethany Beach is nowhere near as big as Rehoboth. But the beach is nicer, less crowded. And, you know, you don't have all the food options and all the other stuff you got in Rehoboth, because Rehoboth got a lot of restaurants and a lot of bars. And they happy hours last forever. They got happy hours that start at 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That is telling me that's a city that's everything they do is based on drinking. Because why would you get somebody cheap margaritas for 6 hours? You know they ain't going to the beach. You know they coming right to your place. And for some people in a chill city, that's all you got time to do, because you don't want to do anything else, and you don't want to be in that sun. You know, you don't want to be in that sun 10, 12 hours, even though some of y'all don't want to be born brown, but you're trying to get brown in the sun. Yes, yes, yes. And that is what's going to happen on Rehoboth. Now, the shopping there, they got a little everything. They got an outlet mall. And when I say outlet mall, I'm talking about upscale, not downscale. They got an outlet mall that's very, very, very nice. And it's not crowded. That's the thing about most outlet malls are crowded as hell. Rehoboth, you know, maybe because it was a Thursday, it wasn't crowded. So I actually love the outlet mall, and I saw things in places that I was interested in. But we got outlet malls all over the DMV. All over DC, Maryland, Virginia area. We got outlet malls everywhere. So having an outlet mall isn't going to be why I come to your city. Now, having a nice beach could drag me into your city. But that beach, it can't be crowded. And having all these little restaurants that, you know, I mean, they're packed. And, you know, that's not bad, and I can deal with that. But at the same time, where's the parking? Because there's not a lot of parking in Rehoboth. You know, now you can park into, you know, little strip malls and all that and walk to the beach. That's not a big deal. I don't mind exercising. Matter of fact, I think a lot of you should be exercising too, based on what I've seen. You know, a lot of you got feet you can't see because your stomach's in the way. So I think that there's a lot of exercising that y'all can use. But at the same time, the people who drive through there, they're pretty nice, because I didn't hear nobody honk their horn in this traffic that's not moving. And I just think that there's too many people for the number of police there. Now, every place got crime, but in Rehoboth, all the crime is minor stuff. I mean, from what I read, talking to people, I say it's minor stuff, but every crime is minor until it happens to you. But at Rehoboth, everything was just, I didn't see any place anywhere I wanted to go, and I felt like there was a threat to me in any kind of way. I didn't feel that way in Rehoboth. But now, Rehoboth also is a place that is not very diverse. Not at all. I was looking for barbecue places. I was looking for places to eat off the beaten path. And Rehoboth just didn't really have that. Now, they had a lot of chain stuff, McDonald's, Burger King, but they had a lot of pubs too. That tells me you got a lot of drunks, or you hoping to get a lot of drunks. They got a lot of that kind of stuff too. So Rehoboth is a place that if you want to go there and see what the 1950s look like, go to Rehoboth, because that's what you're going to see. Now, Bethany seemed a little more modern, Bethany Beach, but we are talking about Rehoboth, and Rehoboth just looked like something. The only thing they were missing was the drive-in. I was looking for the drive-in sign, because the culture and what they had all looked like it came out of the 1960s. It all looked like old stuff, run down. Nobody has put any money into anything to modernize anything. Nobody has done that, but at the same time, the people didn't seem rude or mean, or, they didn't seem any of that kind of stuff. No, they didn't seem any of that. And like I said, I thought the people were pretty curious. And it's odd when you see cops see a problem and they wait to solve it. It was a traffic light out while I was in Rehoboth. The cops didn't solve that until like 10 minutes later, but yet when they pulled up, they saw that the damn light was out. Hell, I saw that a mile away. And so people were taking chances trying to crisscross traffic when the cops right there. I'm like, I know it's hot, but that's part of your job. Get out and get traffic moving. But at the same time, a lot of the hotels, like I stayed at probably 1,000 Hampton hotels. And the Hampton hotels, they look outdated. A lot of things look outdated. It's like someone started this business or this hotel or restaurant and said, I made my money, now I'm going to sell it. Or maybe the kids took over and the kids are lazy as shit, like a lot of young kids. I'm talking about like early 20s, early 30s. And they just said, I'm not going to put any of my profits back into Rehoboth. But for the most part, though, Rehoboth needs a major highway to be close to it. I'm talking about a couple miles. But at the same time, they need to understand that building more houses, which they are doing right now. When you see construction in Rehoboth, it's all about new houses, condos, whatever you want to call them. It's not about improving what already exists. They don't do that. No, we ran across a lot of what we thought was, they're going to widen the highway, they're going to do this, do that. No. All they're going to do is just widen the highway. Build new houses. So when you see infrastructure get upgraded, it's for the new folks who has no clue to what they're in for right now. They're going to be surprised and shocked. It's going to be the way it's going to be. So, saying all that, what I want you to take away from this is that Delaware has nice beaches. Rehoboth is just too damn crowded for that beach. Bethany Beach, you go there, it's all sparse, nice yellow sand, ain't no problems, clear water, it's ready to go. Bethany Beach is not a problem at all. Rehoboth, 10 miles north, is just different. It's not better than Bethany, by no means, but the food is. So if you want to eat, you go to Rehoboth, because they got a huge choice of food of what you can eat. But I'm going to tell you, I'm saying it again. I did not eat there at all, because there's no way. Like I said, if I got sushi, I don't want two black guys cooking it. If I want Mexican food, I do not want two guys from Yugoslavia or Slovakia or Poland cooking my Mexican food. You can go find out Jose and give him the job. You know, you can. I mean, things you can do. Now, like I said earlier, happy hour seems to last a long time, and they love margaritas. Almost every bar advertise margaritas. I don't know why, because I didn't see any Mexicans there either. So who you advertising for? Now, I know there's some Americans who like margaritas, but every bar, side by side, we got margaritas, $3, $4, $5, $6. I don't know how big those margaritas are, but I seen the one for $3, and I'm thinking one for $6 should be close to either twice the shot or twice the size. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm thinking. And the fact that happy hour lasts a long time, I feel that if I'm driving down the street, I'm going to run over a drunk. And knowing my luck, that drunk will have a kid with him. So you can go to Rehoboth, you can enjoy yourself, but it's not worth more than a day trip. Crime is low. Yeah, you're not going to, like I said, you're not going to find a lot of crime. But, the food is not expensive. But then again, I live in the Northeast, and in the Northeast, everything costs a lot of money. Everything. So to me, it's all relative. Now, I may go other places and say, this is cheap as hell. But in Rehoboth, it wasn't bad. And I know that they have live bands almost every night in some restaurant or some bar. They got a live band. And that is where a lot of you should start at. Because, your happy hours ended, live band, food, you will have a ball. So that is the old school traveler take on Rehoboth. You can make it perfect weather. Just it's not for me. It's for people who want to party and drink all night long. You get that vibe as soon as you hit that city limit. You get that vibe. And you're thinking, this is not for me. And the good thing about it is that the population is growing and they're building stuff near to Rehoboth, just not in, and actually in Rehoboth. But just go check it out, do a day trip, see what's there, and it could be for you. This is the Old School Traveler talking about Rehoboth, Delaware. Peace out.